What's good? This is Whole Views. My name is Corey. Thank you for stopping by. Today we're going to be talking about the Secret Invasion finale. So let me get this straight. Marvel has a Secret Invasion television show. It's 6 episodes, right? And it is from the comics. It is starring Nick Fury as our main character, and he is chasing down, for the most part, shape-shifting green aliens. That is what he's doing on the show. And then when you get to the finale, the last episode, and people get mad when you see a CGI fight between two shape-shifting green aliens with superpowers. This is a comic book show, y'all. I don't know what people expected. I don't know what people wanted, but I think I got everything I wanted out of that finale. This one did fine to me. I know the Marvel shows have not really had the best track record when it came to landing their shows. Most of the finales are where the shows kind of fall short. But in my opinion, I feel like this one was good. It was fine. It really wasn't that bad. I know some people want to jump straight in and talk about the CGI in that fight between Gravik and Gy'ah, and I don't think that CGI was very bad at all. I won't lie, and I will admit that when they were in the air, that one did, that little session of the fight, it did kind of look kind of wonky in some moments. But outside of the aerial part of the fight, I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine, and it was appropriate because we already saw as a viewing audience, there's no way that Fury, the main character, can deal with this threat. All he has is words and guns, and if he doesn't, he can't convince him with his words, his pistol is not going to do anything. So there's nothing that he could have done. There's no way that he could have resolved this threat, even though a part of me really wanted to see Fury with his hands resolve this with Gravik. But it makes a lot more comic book sense that Gy'ah is the one to get the job done. The Rhodey stuff is really concerning. Like, I think the Skrull playing Rhodey had its worst performance in this episode. It was never more obvious that Rhodey was not Rhodey. Maybe I'm saying that with hindsight, but it just seems like it was very obvious that Rhodey was pushing really hard to make this strike happen, and it probably would have been obvious to people who knew Colonel Rhodes before and after. That lends us to the point of when they show Colonel Rhodes, the real one, he's still can't walk, which means he's probably been a Skrull since the very end of Civil War, when Rhodey got hit by Vision and collapsed and came out of the hospital with little robo legs. And then we saw the robo legs kind of go away in subsequent films. And so does he still need the robo legs? That's really the thought. I will agree with most of the internet. If Rhodey has been a Skrull since the end of Civil War, like when we saw Rhodey at the end of Civil War, it really wasn't Rhodey. That really changes a lot of moments. So you mean to tell me that Rhodey didn't get to see Tony die? Rhodey didn't know anything about the snap, Thanos, the collection of the stones, just so much stuff that happened that the Rhodey we know is not really a part of. So that's messed up. I think certain lines hit differently. We've all seen the stuff on Twitter, but then at the same time, it's like, man, there's a lot of good character moments that Rhodey had that just mean nothing. Like the whole strangling Thanos as a baby. Like, it doesn't hit the same because that's not really Rhodey saying that. So it's messed up if that's the route that they go to kind of retcon all that and make that stuff make sense. But that's what they want to do. It doesn't really affect this episode. If I'm talking about just this episode, just this finale, I still think it was fine. The whole Fury and Priscilla, Fury embracing her and kissing her in her Skrull form before they go up to the sword or saber space station thing, that's whatever. In my opinion, I would just be flat out about it. They made it a big deal, he embraces her no matter what she looks like, and I guess that's some messaging that they want to send. As a viewer, I just didn't really, that whole love interest stuff, it was over for me once we established that Fury knows she's a Skrull and there's no deception. Then it's like, oh, okay, it's just something else that's happening. So it just wasn't a big deal, in my opinion, that he was embracing her with her normal form. If it's real love, then he's going to embrace her no matter what she looked like. And, that's not a hard concept for people to comprehend, and it shouldn't be a big moment in the show, but they kind of tried to make it a big moment toward the end. The part that I found really interesting that, aside from the fight, because I thought the fight was fine. I thought, the whole Fury taking out or making the strike not happen using his words and his persuasiveness, like that's really Nick Fury's real special skill. Like he gets to influence and he gets to move pieces around, and that was a cool moment itself. But the bigger thing that I really enjoyed from this episode is probably something else that people didn't like. The fact that the US president has made the Skrulls a target, and then you learn through Sonya's actions along with Gy'ah that there's a much bigger operation at play, and as a viewing audience we only got to see a small portion of it, and it's revealed that no, there are way more, and this is a way bigger network. I thought to myself, okay, that's cool that you're gonna kind of set up the Skrulls to be figures later on down the line in the MCU if things continue to go the way they're going. Again, some people might have looked at that and said, oh, this is cheap. Where were all the other people and all this other stuff? Like, we don't need every question to be answered with every single property that we get. I think that this is very cool, laying the seeds for more Skrull interactions and Secret Invasion type stuff to happen down the line. And I think that was their ultimate goal with introducing the Secret Invasion idea in this show, and then pulling back and then having it be a much bigger thing later on down the line. So it'll probably show up in some movies in a few years, and there'll be some callbacks, and people will be like, oh, look, they showed that here and it's back here. Like that's the way this stuff tends to work. All in all, I must say that I was satisfied with it. I thought the episode was good. I didn't have any real problems with the fight. I expected some type of a fight because there's no way Fury could have dealt with that. I also expected Fury at some point to use his powers of persuasion, and he did. It checked all the boxes for me. It wasn't a bad thing. I feel like the negative response that we've gotten over the last few days of people watching the show and then putting out their reactions and their thoughts, I feel like it's kind of just people hating to hate. I'm gonna be real. Critics didn't like the direction of the show, and it went the way that they didn't want it to go, as well as there are some people who just looking to pounce on an MCU property. I feel like that's where we are in time. Like we were in a moment in time where most people loved everything they put out, and then post Endgame we get a lot of criticism because things don't live up to Endgame, and it's like everything is not Endgame. Everything is not going to be Thanos levels of excellence. Sometimes you're going to get some duds and some stinkers, especially with the amount of content that they have given us over the last few years. So I'm fine with this one not being the best thing in the world. But then at the same time, I'm like, it wasn't trash. Like, don't come here and tell me that Secret Invasion, all 6 episodes, was trash. Like, no. There's only one show of all the MCU shows that I feel like is trash, and that is She-Hulk. Like, it built up a little bit of goodwill and just ended in such a garbage way that it just eliminated all the goodwill that it had earned. But everything is not going to be amazing, and I'm fine with that. And I'm not going to condemn Secret Invasion. I thought Secret Invasion was good. It was solid. But let me know what you think about Secret Invasion in that comment section if you care to do so. That's all I have for this one, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something